Викторе, брат, значи, той звъни по време на стрим, когато играе малко. Смисъл, много говоря за когато играе. И докато снимам, разбираш ли? Не знам, ама... Карай, моля, карай, човек! Остана, бе. Караха я майка му дайва. Караха, аз мисля, че караха. Виктория, я кажи дали се чувам. Вече съм толкова. Много слабо обаче. Сега по-добре. Пиши нещо Викторе. Мисъл. Търси са играчи. Alea, brat. Non tu. A mea asta cu oamenii de tot.
He has just been so impressive, so quick.
Yeah, the Spanish players are, and you know, Spain as a nation is absolutely the nation that have benefited the most. Format just completely opening the doors to so many new players to show what they can do. VK Salen is absolutely one of them who's popped up most recently, but even more recently than that is CRR and Dorito, who have just in this most recent split been showing off their stuff. We're not going to see any more of them today because they did finish off last place in their group, but there were competitive series amongst their losses. The 0-4 series score doesn't tell the full story. They are an exciting combination alongside Tigre. Can't wait to see what comes next for them.
I've been looking as well at Acronic personally, where there are so many players that we've seen come through, and it's that young mechanical breed of player that seems to do so well when partnered with a bit of an older veteran of the game. Having Acronic go on the side of BS Plus competition, joining alongside Freaky and Godsmiller in that regard, it just means that he's got the mature backstory to him and he's got the mature support of his players nearby, but then the absolute ability to be one of the most impressively clutch players as well, mechanically in Europe, where he's only just getting started and he's already at the level that he's at right now. It's such a pleasure to watch, and it's just going to be amazing watching him going forwards when he refines it just that little, a few more percent.
I think
it feels harsh. Yeah, sorry, Shogun.
I think a lot of us would sort of say Acronic has been the emerging player of the split, obviously. I mean, we were talking about this yesterday when we did goal of the season. He's got 2 of them. Like, we put 2 of his goals, not only in the top 7, but the top 3 of the season. We've only really got to get recognizing his skills during this split. So I think Acronic would take a lot of the player. But Cole, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I was going to say it feels harsh that CRR, Dorito, and Acronic, they're all out. They all went out yesterday, 5th in their groups. It just shows how competitive this all is because, yeah, particularly Acronic, just a complete player. Mine's a bit more of a wild card, pun not intended, because I am talking about German Amigos Catalysm. He's a player that many people watching this won't know too much about, and I'll admit the only reason I know about him is watching the grid all the time, which is where they did their best work. He emerged pretty much from nowhere alongside Ivan and Rizex, and he just seems such a good striker of the ball. He is dependable, exactly where his team need him to be. We actually had him interviewed on the grid overtime. We found out in that interview he'd never been interviewed before by anyone, and the first time it was by Stumpy and me, live on grid overtime, in front of 80,000 people in his second language, and that takes confidence for like 25 minutes. Yeah, it was a chat.
Oh, wow.
With him.
Yeah.
He nailed it.
Those interviews are just basically podcast mode, which I think is
exactly
very good. I'm sure you guys eased him into it, and I'm happy to see
we take full credit for his success.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he should, during the next interview, which will clearly be on a stage in front of a live audience, he will get on there and just like, look, before I say anything, Colin Stumpy, thank you so much for
wipe a tear
helping
from
my
his
career. You're welcome at this point.
They play later today, though, so that's exciting. We're going to get to see more of Catalysm. Like you mentioned, we don't see Acronic, CRR, Dorito, and their teams because this is such a stacked competition. They're out, but Catalysm, they made it through. They got that one clutch win. It didn't look like they were going to make it through because their day started off horrendously yesterday, and then they had to finish off their group, of course, playing Queso and Vitality. So you're thinking, well, if they can't beat BS Plus, they're not going to beat Queso Vitality, but they did. They beat Queso. Queso are, of course, the most random team. So well played, German Amigos, and looking forward to seeing them play later today.
Well, keeping it in the sort of theme of a very positive pre-show so far, let's talk about our team of the year. Now, this is not us just saying who was the best team this year. It would be BDS, quite obvious, quite boring. We are going to put together a European all-star team. Now, this is not us saying this is the team that would work best together. This is not a fantasy team saying, okay, this synergy with this player and this player would be the best. These are our top 3 players from the region of the season. I'm going to say a name immediately so we can get this player out of the way. Monkey Moon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Monkey Moon is just clearly on there. He is the complete package. Player 2. Let's move
on. So Monkey Moon's our first player, but the rest of it, I'm hoping is going to be a lot more complicated. Who wants to go first? Who wants to throw a name into the hat?
No, we're not allowed to use extra and
no.
art.
At this point, all BDS players are out. You got 1 player per team.
I'm gonna chuck an Acronic for how well BS Plus competition are doing already. we mentioned how complete a player he is. Often with these Wonder Kids, they emerge and they're scoring goals. It's double flip resets, it's mechanical stuff. The reason he's impressed me so
For the
much...
all-star team,
I think he's already worth it, yeah.
Not
I think he is most certainly worth it.
Of the season, though?
Bear in mind, to do that, you're going to need to then you're going to need to take out like some of the Vitality players from the mix, who therefore then can't put in any queso players. You can't put in anybody else from there.
This Cole is in the split that we've seen the most of him. He's not made the major top 8. I feel like it's a good split for him, but you've got to be able to show up on the big days, and we're not even getting to see him on the big day today. So
even if he did, though, even if he did, I mean, I think Acronic would be for me absolutely in the conversation for all-star team of the split. But you know, you got to remember the whole season, and he did play. Yeah, well, he did. I think he did. Attempt to qualify, but no, never made it.
So 7 before BS competition.
I've got a suggestion for a player. I'm feeling Nolly potentially. Because Nolly has proven on Guild that he is, and obviously we're not necessarily going, oh, he would play well with Monkey Moon or whatever, but when he steps up, he has got an unbelievably high ceiling, and he is getting to that level more and more frequently. His base level that he will fall to is rising so quickly. I think Nolly's definitely in the conversation. What do you think?
I mean, you know what? The reason you said not to do a Chronic, I think you consider the same with Nolly, right? You're basing this on his last couple of regionals.
But even the poor... Yeah, Guild never wowed us early this season, but they were still there. They always seemed to be still present.
Well, the reason I was kind of like okay with Stumpy saying that is because my expectations for Stumpy's nominations are so low.
Wow.
I thought he was going to throw something completely ridiculous in here, but now it's like, no, like, wow, okay, yeah, I don't think he's in my...
He actually plays Rocket League.
No, I don't think he's in the All-Star team, but I think, for Stumpy, that was a great shout. Well done, Stumpy.
Right, Johnny, who do you think then, mate? Go on, less of this stats, more of your brain.
It's easy. Astral. He's is so underrated, even though I think everybody agrees that he's an amazing player. No, he's underrated. Listen, everybody thinks that Astral is a problem. No, this is what's underrated about Astral. There's this misconception, there's kind of an aura around him that he's difficult to play with, and that nobody wants to play with him. And I don't think I've encountered this when talking with any of his current teammates and also other top players in the region. They all want to play with this guy. He's a great player. I think he's easily, for me, one of the all-stars. He's the only reason that Solary are even in this top 6.
I agree
There's
with
no way that they're making top 6 without Astral. No
I 100% agree with that, Johnny. That he is the leading force on Solary. I couldn't agree more with that. But I don't... To me, I'm so question mark about Solary in general, and one of my big question marks of Solary is Astral. I think there's so many times where he doesn't play well with others. He's like an antisocial dog.
What, for example,
he'll try and take the entire team on his back. He does that. We saw it, Johnny, when there was the EU versus NA show matches. He tried to overtake his teammates. Monkey Moon, he tried to take the ball away from him 5 or 6 times per game.
It feels harsh not to include him in the All-Star because of Johnny's show matches.
No, that's the first example.
I'm going to press you for a second player here.
Can I chuck in one more that I reckon I can swing everybody with?
You can push him for the third, but we need somebody as that second player.
Archie.
Yes.
For top bloke.
I like
He's been their best player all season. They have dipped a little bit recently, but ultimately they've got, I believe, 3rd place locked in, or certainly third or 4th locked in into the championships. It's thanks to him.
I can agree with that more than Astral. I will take him over Astral any day. Yeah.
I got them on a par. I think they're both the same. They both carried their teams. That's why they're in the All-Star team conversation for me. They both carried their teams. They're the only reasons that their teams. I mean, I'm not saying that the other players weren't a factor, but if Astral and Archie played at the level of their teammates, I don't think either of those teams make top 6. They were the reason that those teams had that, real pop-off potential and put in the results.
I think that's harsher on top blokes than it is on Solary, because when Cassio is actually playing to the level that Arch can get to he is playing as well as Archie. He just doesn't get there as frequently. Whereas on Solary, Ferret and Shawset do not reach the level of Astral.
Yeah, I don't think anybody reaches the level of Astral. I think he's so good. Astral's unbelievable. I think he's unbelievable, and this story of him being difficult to play with is so overrated.
I'm going to reveal something amazing to you guys. You have 2 spots left on this team.
We do. I'm I'm personally against Astral being on this team, but if the panel says, of course, I'd like to chuck